All right, all right, all right, all right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely early morning. We at 2:25 a.m. Um, this morning, this Friday, 2:25 a.m. I desire to press forward with this message, being so I want to move from it because as I continue to bring forth messages, I realize that the more you bring forth, the less interested the flesh of individuals are. Okay? No one wants scriptures and no one wants to hear what I said, the Most High God, in this day and time. So I want to make sure I put out um, this video regarding the commandment and the law. And what I'm going to say is, it is nothing. The Father had explained to me, it is nothing that one could say, even through verses, scriptures, precept, line, little here, little there. It doesn't matter. It is not going to convince the mass of the multitude who have been deceived by fully the deception of the flesh of men. Okay, that means that there's nothing they can see. The truth can be looking them eye to eye, and they still will reject it while looking it eye to eye. So what I'm going to do is make sure I have this put into the slot and of messages that I have put forward, and I want to cover the commandment and the law. First and foremost, when we start to really put the commandment and the law in its perspective or in the proper order, then we'll understand that first and foremost, we're putting too much power of authority in the commandment and the law that has a great deal to do with the feelings and the emotions of individuals' flesh. So if you cannot and you have not received the Ruach, you're not going to be able to have the insight of the commandment nor the law. Now, I remember years ago, people used to say that people talk about the law has been done away with. No, the law is not what you call done away. The law still sits there for those who are in the flesh. Okay. So the law and the commandment for those who walk in the flesh, it still resides there for them. Okay. Okay. Let me say that again. People who walk in the flesh, born of the flesh, they still walk in the flesh and they have their commandment and their law. They are under that commandment and under that law. But you have another member within your body. It's called your spirit. Your spirit, if you're born of the spirit, you are no longer under the law that the flesh, he that is born of the flesh and he that is about the flesh, that is his law and that is his commandments. Okay? Those are the ones they stick to. The ones that was in Torah, just that they couldn't keep then. And guess what? The Most High already revealed to me they can't keep now. But they rather lock you up and lock you down in commandments and laws in which they feel they have mastered. But the Father told me to tell you they are liars. They have not even loved or given their mother and their father out of the respect of honoring them. Okay? They have not did anything that brings them to the level of upholding the commandment and the law. So I want to say to you, when you say, have the law ceased or have the law been done away? It has not been done away to those who are born of the flesh. Those that are born of the flesh is of the flesh. So yes, you still have your laws of the Torah. Those are laws for you. But he that is born of the Spirit is no longer under the law that the flesh is up under. They have been done, it has been done away with regarding those that are born of the Spirit. We're dealing with twos, y'all. So when you hear people say that the law still stands or the law has not been done away, you're right. You're right. You're right. Because he that is born of the flesh needs that law and that commandment, those commandments. They need it. You see what I'm saying? And that's what Yeshua was saying, that I'm not coming to bother what y'all need. That's a law of the flesh. I'm not coming to tamper with your law. It is needed for he that is born of the flesh. But he also wants you to know he's coming to fulfill the other end. And what end was that? To fulfill the end that is spirit. He that is born of the Spirit is not under the law, in which he that is born of the flesh is under. Okay? So if you hear people say that you got to keep the commandments in the law, make sure you understand it's two. I told you over and over since I've been on here. Once you able to divide the two from the kingdom, then you will understand all things. Because the Ruach comes to teach you all things, but he brings you to the level of understanding the twos. The twos that started in the kingdom is also the twos, the twos that rest here on the earth. So when you speak of commandments and laws, that there is a commandment and a law that has not been done away with, because he that is born of the flesh needs that law. But he that is born of the Spirit is not under the law in which the flesh is up under. That's the difference. I want so much to bring all these verses to break it all down. But the Father said, need not. Deborah, you can break it down, you can break it up, you can bring it left, you can bring it right, you can precept it, you can line it, you can little here. Those that are born of the flesh, let them stick with the laws of the flesh. Let them stick with the commandments of the flesh. But for those who are born of the Spirit, they are not bound to the law of the flesh. This is what they don't get. This is what they don't get. They don't understand the simple things. That there were a change over. Why is it we can't accept when Hamashiach or the Yeshua Hamashiach or the Messiah came, there was a great big change. He come to fulfill his purpose. He didn't come here to mess with the laws that is needed for he that is lawlessness. Practice lawlessness. He that is born of the flesh. You need those laws. You need those commandments. But these laws and commandments that he that is born of the flesh, the serpent seed, is not bound to the law that the flesh and the serpent seed is bound to. They bound to a law and a commandment that they never, ever, 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 ever in their life, nor their forefathers were able to uphold nor abide by. So let them play in the commandments and the laws in which those that lead and guide them cause them to error and live the way of the flesh and wicked and evil. And the only way they're going to find out is when that day shine the light, just as the 10 virgins. The door is closed and they got left. But you need to be left If you are worshiping and serving an idol, a God like man, who you feel that knows A to Z, and y'all don't know nothing. You feel man can give you the ins and outs, and y'all can't tell you nothing. When you stay on that line and stay with your laws and your commandments, it is meant for you to have laws and commandments. He that is born of the flesh is of the flesh. Yes, you need the laws and the commandments. Did they hold up back in time past? No. Are they holding up now, Deborah? No. But let those who are of the flesh, those that are born of the flesh, those that are the serpent seed, those who walk, talk, eat, and live in darkness, let him grip the laws and the commandments, because they're going to need them, and they have needed them. But yet the Father says to me that they still have not followed them themselves, the law in which they live by. Now there's another law in the spirit realm. There's a law and a commandment in the spirit realm. And the simple thing, all these verses I have, and the Father was sitting here, and I said, Father, that is so right. That is so true. I can sit here and give them all the scriptures, all the chapters, all precept, line, little here, little there, and it ain't going to mean nothing, because these people are stuck on the law, and they need to be. It was given to them. Those that are born of the Spirit, their law is in Christ. Okay? When the Spirit of He that who created all things, all laws, all commandments, when He come to live in you, what law is he that is born of the flesh is going to tell you you need to be upholding his fleshly law, his fleshly commandments? They were for him. That's why Yeshua said, I come not to remove the law nor the prophets. I come to fulfill the mission of the Spirit. And the mission of the Spirit came with a new law, and a law of the Spirit, and a commandments of the Spirit. So here go, he that is born of the flesh, he has his law and his commandment, and he that is born of the Spirit has its law and its commandment. Okay? That's the difference in both laws. You see? So when one says it has been done away with, it has been done away with due to those who are now born of the Spirit. The law of the flesh can take it and use it to the best of their ability. But he that is born of the Spirit, they are not under the law and the commandments which the flesh is under. You see the difference? It is too. Me, myself, I would think that it's important to break it down to individual, but as the Spirit of the Ruach explained to me, what's the need? The change been before their faces. It's the same law and commandment in which they're trying to uphold, that they say they hold up, and they don't, because they're living in the flesh, and the flesh uphold no law nor any commandments. You see what I'm saying? But let them keep their law and the commandments. He that is born of the flesh is born of the flesh. He that is born of the Spirit is of the Spirit. Okay? There's two different laws, and there's two different sets of commandments. One for the Spirit and one for the flesh. So let them keep the law and the commandment that they uphold. without upholding. And you that are born of the Spirit, understand you too have a law and a commandment within you. Okay? This is what this to me is. I saw too much in here, breaking it down to where it can't go no lower. But what the Spirit did speak to me about, and I had no idea, but I do appreciate the idea that he did break it down to me. He said what a certain group of people would do and why they use the Torah to uphold the law and commandments on that end of who they say that they are, is they thought that they could do away with anyone else coming in that realm as long as they can claim Torah is about them. Torah is speaking to them. Torah is warning, I mean, not warning, is giving it the commandments and the law to us. And what they did not understand, 100% true, it gave you that is born of the flesh commandment and laws because you needed to keep those commandments and laws you had. Why? You never abide by, said the Most High Yah. And you still today don't abide by. He's seen you with your parents. He's seen you with your mother. He's seen you break every last one of them in so many ways. But yet you want to get on these platforms talking about keep the law and the commandments. You keep the law and the commandments. It was created for you. Your forefathers couldn't keep it. They couldn't uphold it. That's why the new Christ had to come with the new law and commandment. And those that are born of the Spirit, they receive a different commandments and laws that rest in the spirit realm. They don't have to answer to your law and your commandment in your flesh. See, this is what people don't understand. There is a tools in that. All of this is about the tools. That's how you can divide all this trash up. When people come and they say, well, oh, everybody lying, them Christians said they done away with the law. We're not under the law. You are under the law if you are of the flesh. He that is born of the flesh is under the law. It's a different law that he that is born of the Spirit. See, that's what y'all don't understand. Everything he did, he divided it into twos. The law of the flesh and the commandments is for the he that is born of the flesh. And when Yah gave it to him back in Torah, guess what? He explained all the way through. They never could uphold it. But then they come to you now that you are born of the Spirit. Oh, you got to keep their same law that they couldn't keep. And they still today can't keep. But they want to use it to hammer it on you that you got to keep the commandments and follow the law. Yes, the law has not been done away with in the manner of for the flesh. The law and the commandments still exist for he that is born of the flesh. Well, for he that is born of the Spirit, they are not. They are not bound to the law and the commandments that is for the flesh. For their law and their commandments are within. Okay? And that's what I try to explain to you all, which as the Father continued to show me, is that it's easily, very easily to be understood. Very. It's just that people just don't want to. People don't have nothing in them that says, okay, I'm going to do right. I'm going to uh, uh, um, be about my Father's business. No one wants to do that in this day and time. So I'm just looking at this little bitty tiny mic. Look at here. And I'm seeing how I'm going to see if it works. But I say unto you, it is not done away with. There is a law and a commandment for he that is born of the flesh. But for he that is born of the spirit, his law and commandments are within. Okay? And they are led by he that is in them, where the law and commandments are upheld. So they can also not be caught up in those who follow in their law and their commandment because it has been given to them. It's no way I'm going to go reaffirm to Torah when I already know that they didn't keep Torah then. How is it that you so assured that you are keeping it today? You're not. It's just a way that you feel. This is what he told me. The Father said there is people who believe if they can just line everything up in Torah, they can exclude every other nation. That's really what it's about. Because they believe that everything as far as commandments and laws and Torah and everything was dedicated to a certain people. And it was. And still today is. But it's the law of the flesh. It's the commandments of the flesh. Because they are, he that is of the flesh has, is lawlessness. It needs some sort of guidance. So those commandments of Torah is for he that is born of the flesh. Okay, but he that is born of the spirit, the law was written in your heart. The commandments are in you. I myself would say to anybody, and this will knock everything out the ballpark. If greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world, who is telling him how to uphold the law in me? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. So I say unto you all, when you're out there and you're trying to figure out what it said, we got to keep this law. It is telling you that. When you have to keep the law of Torah, it's because you are born of the flesh. You need the law. You need the commandments of Torah. You need it. They couldn't keep it then. Good luck with you in this day and time. Successfully upholding the commandments and the laws. They couldn't do it then. And the Most High shared with me that they can't do it now. But since they so hard, stuck on hard, and not want to give the credit to he that came to bring in the law in our hearts, the commandments in our hearts. You see, to where this law is done away with, but it's done away with those who are born of the Spirit. It's not done away with those who are born of the flesh. You see what I'm saying? So when you see all this division, this is where it's at. So when someone would say, well, okay, the law is not done away with, no, it's not. It still exists for he that is born of the flesh. But for he that is born of the Spirit, the law has been done away with them. So take your pick where you already been picked. Because you won't and what I was explaining to you, the Father was share with me. Another reason why they stick firm to Torah is because they want to keep it in a category of a particular people. They have no respect for the ideal of he that came and ushered and grafted others in And a lot of them don't even understand. They was grafted in from the kingdom, baby. They're not grafted in when they get down here. They was grafted in from the kingdom. When y'all branded those that are grafted in, he branded them with faith and belief from the kingdom. That's why. See, what you all trying to do is treat this creator who sits on the throne like he a flesh. And he has to fall under your order of understanding the way flesh does things. But that's why you caught up in the law and the commandments, because you are of the flesh. And you need the law and the commandments to try to keep yourself in mind that you are a peculiar, a special people under the same Torah, and you don't understand. Baby, please. They couldn't keep it in. What makes you think they was in Torah? It was Deuteronomy 28 that's Torah. They put that sealed the curse. In Genesis, when he gave it to Abraham, they sealed the curse. And this is where we at. We ain't in Torah, but we suffering from the sins of our forefathers that came and walked there in Torah. Didn't they have commandments and laws? Didn't they have the commandment and law? What did it do for us? Nothing. Like many are following it now. When you are born of the flesh, you are born of the flesh. So this is your commandment and your laws. They have not been done away with. But he that is born of the Spirit, they are not bound to your fleshly commandments and your law. And as I said before, y'all say you ain't kept not one commandment yourself that you are bound to in the flesh. So what he was telling me that it's a lot of hate in all forms, coming from all nationalities that's out here, all corners. It's revealing that it's not just one particular group of people doing this hate. It's all over. You see, it's just everybody got their certain type of hate, and they hating for no reason at all, none whatsoever. They don't even know why they hate. They hating because someone else is hating, but don't understand that intimacy in Genesis 3 and 15 was put there. That means hate. So you walking around here, oh, we don't hate. Yes, you do. Because it's a lot of things the Father is showing me that a people have made about them when he is not just about you. And then you locked it in. That's what the Father have an issue with, that you locked it in like, hey, it's all about us. Without even seeing that he said he talks about other nations being grafted in. Even me, I had an issue with him saying, the Gentiles and the heathens shall know, and they're going to praise and glorify me and exalt me. I'm looking at that. I said, hold up. Now, why ain't these other group of people teaching that? Because there's a level of hate also in them. They don't own up. Let me tell y'all something. Truth and righteous is two of the things that you ain't going to get nobody to own. They're not going to focus on owning it in the right order. They're not going to do it. Nobody. Nobody. Families, on your workplace, in your community, different nationalities. Nobody's going to own up to righteous and truth. That's why righteous stand alone. It don't need nobody on this left or this right. It's going to stand alone. Either you get with it, because it ain't going to get with you. It's going to stand alone. So I just thank the Father for breaking that down to me to show me that the reason why they hang on to Torah, it's a form of hate. To keep thinking, okay, we can close that door so nobody can come in. And we can claim the commandments and the laws were given to us. It was. You never kept it. You never was obedient to it. You see? You never, ever. And he said, you worse today than your forefathers. So what commandment and law you upholding? Even in your flesh. Because he that is born of the flesh, that's who that law and commandment is for. So it's not done away with. Only done away with to those who have been placed in the body of Hamashiach. Those that are born of the Spirit. They're not under that law. You are. So keep your law on their side and let them keep the law on their hearts, where Yah made sure that it's going to reside while he abide in them and them in him. Don't forget, born of the flesh is born of the flesh. Born of the Spirit is born of the Spirit. So Sister Deborah, hope you got something out of it. I had the reason why I decided to do this morning is early is because I got so many verses and everything to tie in. And the Father said, don't waste your time, Deborah. Like you always said, the majority, great number, has already swam so far out in the ocean. They don't see dry land. And if they don't see dry land, they don't see spirit and truth. They don't see the light. They don't see the dry land. You see, they don't see righteous. No light that they can see to show them the way back. And they have settled out, far out, with the flesh of man as they idol Yah. So Sister Deborah, say unto you, I hope you got something out of it. But the law has been done away with to those that are born of the Spirit. But for those that are born of the flesh, the law still stands as Torah. It still stand with them, and they with it. Even though they never kept it in, they don't keep it now. They just use it to let them get away with what they're doing in the flesh. So Sister Deborah, say shalom and shalom.